the austerity couldn't form a coalition government. The mandate to try and form a coalition has passed to the second biggest party. That's called the Coalition of the Radical Left. And that's important because that party is fundamentally opposed to the austerity measures and has vowed that if it can form a coalition, it will renegotiate the terms of the bailout agreement and take Greece in a very different direction that it's been following over the course of the past couple of years. Having said that, the numbers for that party don't appear to add up at this point either. It's going to be very difficult, according to political analysts, for Syriza, as it's known in Greece, to get all the parties together necessary to achieve more than 151 seats inside the parliament. And so we're not looking at a done deal by any means at this point. And still the most likely possibility is that no coalition will be formed, and this country could go back to the elections perhaps as early as next month.
Yeah, that certainly is a possibility, especially when 66% of the vote was won by these kind of fragmented anti-austerity parties. Now, we've already had a warning shot coming from the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, getting out there saying just yesterday those terms of the Greek bailout are non-negotiable. We've got to remind ourselves that this country has already had hundreds of billions of dollars worth of bailouts, and it's also had a 200 billion euro haircut.
Yes, it has. In some ways, you know, from a commercial point of view, the terms that Greece has managed to secure under its last government are pretty favourable. But, you know, it's difficult to convince ordinary Greeks of that. Remember, you know, despite the sort of relatively flexible terms in some ways that they've secured from the European Union and the European Central Bank and the IMF, there's still been a devastating impact in Greece on people's standards of living. People have seen their pensions, you know, slashed, their wages slashed, to the extent that many families can't even afford to pay their utility bills and buy food at the end of the month. Unemployment has reached record highs. Nationally, it's running at over 21% in certain demographics, between 16 and 24-year-olds, for instance. It's running at somewhere in the region of 45%, which is extraordinarily high. And all of these things taken together mean that Greece, or Greeks rather, are feeling immense pain as a result of these austerity cuts. And what they had in this election a few days ago was their first opportunity to give their verdict on the austerity plans. And, you know, 66%, as you say, more or less, adamantly rejected those austerity plans and want the country to go in a different direction.
Yeah, obviously that's a message that they're going to have to communicate to Brussels as well, isn't it? Matthew Chance, as always, many thanks there live on the ground in Athens. Andrew.
Nina, I've been listening to interviews with Greeks on the street and being asked would they change their vote if there was a second election, and to a person they said no. So it makes you wonder where this goes after the second election. Certainly there's a lot of fear in the markets at the moment. Look at the yields on the Greek 10-year bonds, for example. They're now above 23%. That's after spiking more than 11.5 percentage points in the wake of the election result. And they are rising again today, unsurprisingly. They're now more than 3 times above that 7% threshold that's been widely used as what really is the limit as what is sustainable for a country's bond yield. Nevertheless, the former Greek Deputy Finance Minister Petros Doukas told CNN that Greece will honour its debt obligations.
There are not that many choices. What is the other choice? The other choice is unilateral abandonment of the memorandum and the agreements. That means no new money coming into Greece. Greece still runs deficits. It needs foreign financing to get things moving. There's one big risk, however, as you suggest, that at some point European leaders may say, okay, we'll try to teach them a lesson. We'll give enough money to pay principal and interest, but we won't give enough money to pay for pharmaceuticals, welfare, salaries and pensions. And that is indeed a very big risk. And I think it's very important and very critical that the radical left Syriza party participates in the government. Because what has happened so far, and very successfully, some parties stay out of the government and they just kick and scream, and that the parties that are in the government are just not performing. Now it's time for all of them to bite the bullet. Nobody stays out. They come in and they try to talk sense, let's put it that way, to our European partners.
Now, perhaps it's no surprise that the majority of votes were for the anti-austerity parties. After waves of cuts, the latest official figures put Greek unemployment, as Matthew was saying, at almost 22%. It's interesting, Nina, isn't it, that you have 66% saying they don't want austerity measures, but a majority of Greeks also say they don't want to leave the Eurozone, leave the actual euro as a currency. So you've got a bit of a conundrum there.
Yeah, and a lot of economists saying, Andrew, that that's not actually a choice that they have to make. So what's really interesting is that just before they went to the elections on Sunday, 1 in 4 Greeks were saying that the main reason to go and vote on Sunday was basically to punish the political parties that got them into this kind of situation in the first place. But the important thing is that they don't actually, for the moment, have a say on whether they want to leave the euro or indeed stay in it. Let's take a look at how all of this is affecting the equity markets, especially where I am here in Europe, because what we saw yesterday was a lot of these markets trading in the red, with the exception of the CAC 40 in Paris, because of course that market had been affected by its own political election outcome as well, with François Hollande winning the vote there.